Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today. Today's June 22nd. This is your Raw is London WWE Monday Night Raw review. We are on the road to Night of Champions. Night of Champions will probably cover tomorrow around this time when we get home from work. More than likely do a little bit of a live stream. I think we've reached the 1 year anniversary of me doing the live streams talking about, the future WWE pay-per-views and other things that are going on in the world of wrestling. They've been pretty fun. I don't really have a scheduled time for them, but I honestly hope you're able to duck into the next one and we can talk some wrestling in there. But Monday Night Raw kicked off. Oba Femi kicked off the show, making his way down to the ring. He's got to be the odds-on favorite, unless we're just having an all-out bloodline rules match between him and Jay at Night of Champions. But Oba comes down. He makes no... basically, this whole time we've been working towards King of the Ring, where if he wins King of the Ring, more than likely he will go to SummerSlam and he will have a match against Roman Reigns. He will not stop ducking this Brock Lesnar challenge, but he brings up the fact that if he wins this King of the Ring, basically, which direction is he going to want to go with his challenge? Is he going to want to challenge for the Raw Roman Reigns title, or is he going to challenge for the SmackDown WWE Championship, whether that's going to be Gunther, Sami Zayn, or Cody Rhodes, I guess you can say. But throughout all of this, Jey Uso is in the back. He knows he's coming out. That's basically what they touted out that was going to be on Raw, is that Oba Femi and Jey Uso would both, talk about their future King of the Ring, championship match at Night of Champions tonight. So Jay sits back. He's had enough of this. He comes out. We get Mr. Yeetathon because we're back on the European tour over there in London. And he gets down to the ring, and basically Oba Femi says, hey, before you even think about it, we ain't running it back. We ain't doing that again. And Jay, basically, he's not going to step down from Oba Femi. But this pisses Oba off to the point where he switches it into, I'm not being Mr. Nice Guy anymore. And he wants to have this match right now. But they don't have any physicality. We don't get anything like that. We just basically have Oba Femi trying to put Jey Uso in his place. And he says, when I win this King of the Ring, the challenge I'm looking for is not from you. It's going to be from your cousin, Roman. So we basically know what direction Oba is going to go. If Oba wins, he's going after Roman. If Jay wins, he's going after the winner of the Sami, Cody, and Gunther three-way at Night of Champions. I honestly talked myself into Sami Zayn winning that match so we can do Jey Uso versus Sami Zayn. I know that that's a wild card pick. We have to beat Oba Femi yet once again. But I think there's people out there who already think Oba Femi has, the Brock Lesnar match at SummerSlam in his sights. And Brock is probably already on the plane to Riyadh as we speak right now, looking to have some sort of interference inside of that match. But even with Jey Uso, we'll find out a little bit later in the night, the bloodline is not 100% right now. They're not all on the same page. We have LA Knight and Adam Pearce in the back, basically, not getting along at all. We have Jimmy Uso in sight, and basically Adam Pearce decides that we're going to have an LA Knight versus Jimmy Uso match. LA Knight ain't listening to Adam Pearce because he throws it out like it's his idea that he wants to have a Jimmy Uso match. And basically everything breaks down. It's just being nuts. Tag titles for the women's division were on the line with Brie Bella and Paige going up against Lyra as well as Bailey. and we finally had it. Lyra Valkyrie is the one who turns on Bayley when they're not able actually to win the titles here. It just, for so long, we thought this team was together. For Bayley to start listening to the demons, I guess or the voices inside of her head. And I'm not even 100% sure if that all got killed because maybe Randy Orton was getting heated up and he's the one who hears voices in his head and things like that. But for months, every single time Lyra and Bayley had a big match, like, this is where they're going to break up. This is where they're going to break up. I think that the tag team went on a year-long run of the breakup is coming, the breakup is coming. And it didn't even come from the way that we thought it was going to. It was Lyra who turned on Bayley, throwing Bayley into the ropes. I don't know if it was a botched where Bayley was supposed to fall out of the ring and then Lyra was supposed to beat her up outside. On the floor, but they ended up just doing it inside of the ring. They said that Lyra was trying to decapitate Bayley, but Lyra gets in the back. They're trying to have a word with her. She just blows everybody off. She wants out of there. This Bayley versus Lyra feud, I think honestly, once we get it, we could develop the winner of this feud moving into, going after the Intercontinental Championship, trying to get some collusion going in the mid-card of this women's division. If Lyra wins, basically it could be like Lyra going up against Sol Ruka, and if Bayley is the winner of this feud, maybe we have Becky Lynch win that championship back, and we do Becky versus Bayley one more time for that Intercontinental title. Chad Gable grabbed the mic and he made his way out to the ring. We finally got what Rey Mysterio and Penta have been telling him to do. Is he finally got in his mind who the other people that he was supposed to apologize to. And we had Chad Gable bring out Otis, Tozawa, and Maxine. And he did his best apology tour, but Maxine was basically seeing right through all of this. And she basically was saying Chad has only been there for himself. He can remember when, he was trying to whip Otis with the belt. He made Maxine get down on her knees and apologize. And just all of the bad things that ever happened during Gable's heel turn. Basically putting himself ahead of the Alpha Academy before basically jumping over and joining up with the Creeds, just going off. She just basically says Gable has never been a good guy. She sees right through it. Nothing to do really with Maxine hanging out with Austin Theory. We are slowly going there. I think in the end, Maxine will be the one who turns on Gable, but I think Otis and Tozawa will probably be the ones who makes the save. So Maxine will just focus over to going to the Vision, if that group's not breaking up, and Gable could have Tozawa and Otis on his side. But maybe we got a little bit more work coming in the foreseeable future. We had a commercial for season 3 of the Unreal show on Netflix, which will be coming July 21st. That, of course, is going to be focused all on the last run of John Cena, who we got in season 1, but he was nowhere to be seen in season 2, besides for the SummerSlam match, which I think was in the last episode of the Unreal show. But I guess now we're going to see why we're saving him. We had Dragon Lee and Ethan Page have a really nice singles match, with Ethan Page getting the win on Dragon Lee. I didn't know that Dragon Lee was in TNA Impact, but I think when he was making his way down to the ring, they announced him as a former Impact champion, unless I just don't know what other wrestling league that WWE is aligned with has that. So maybe he was wrestling under a different name before he came to WWE as Dragon Lee, but I honestly really just don't remember it. And maybe I just heard it wrong is the best way to put it there. But we had a face-off between Io Sky and Liv Morgan. That's going to be a fun Queen of the Ring finalist match. It could go, honestly, either way. They are running with the storyline of Judgment Day, or maybe they just go with Io Sky because of the fact she was left off of WrestleMania, even though it looked like the direction that I thought they were going was Io having to have a match with Rhea Ripley. We had some dissension in the back with the Bloodline. Jey Uso called up Jacob Fatu for going to SmackDown, trying to talk to Solo Sikoa. Solo said he was coming to Raw. So honestly, it seems like Jacob is in the number 2 spot in the Bloodline, but number 3 and number 4 are trying to be like the little, dogs just barking, just trying to like make some noise for what is going down. From there, we went to the Jimmy Uso versus LA Knight match, where Solo Sikoa, he delivered on his promise, coming to Monday Night Raw in his red suit. He jumped over the barricade. He climbed up over onto the canvas as Jimmy Uso was up on the top rope. He hit him with the big spike, and we're off to the races. Solo Sikoa taking his shot at the Usos. I don't know if this is going to lead to an Usos versus Solo match, but I thought Solo had bought in. But I guess when he interfered on the King of the Ring qualifier a few weeks ago, he was trying to help Royce Keys. It only cost Royce Keys the match in the long run. So I'm not really 100% sure what direction we're going, but Solo Sikoa has drawn his line in the sand, and he is not with the Bloodline. From there, we go to the Judgment Day, having a backstage talk. They're falling apart. Basically, Danhausen has cursed JD. He has basically stolen Dominic Mysterio's money. Liv Morgan is trying to say that she's going to be the next Queen of the Ring, while Roxanne, I think, is causing waves in the back, basically saying, like, Raquel, I thought you were going to win. I thought it was going to be Raquel versus Liv to be the Queen of the Ring. And basically, Liv tries to calm everything down with basically saying that Raquel Rodriguez is going to be focused on the Intercontinental Championship match, having a match with Sol Ruca. So at least Liv is trying to look out for the Judgment Day, because it looked like she was just trying to make sure everybody was in place for this. But Chad Gable walks up and he says that he wants to have an Intercontinental Championship match against Penta. Dominic Mysterio immediately shoots him down, saying he should be in the running for an IC match. So I don't know if Austin Pierce, I've been making this mistake for months. I don't know if Adam Pearce made the match, but definitely something is going down between Dom and Gable. I thought Gable would get a shot at Dominic's AAA title in AAA Mexico, but maybe we're going to be getting them having a match to see who can be the next Intercontinental Champion. But I think when they do that match, that could be leading towards something at SummerSlam, because I love the babyface versus heel mentality. I think with Dom would be in the driver's seat to beat Chad, but are they trying to hand Chad an L by trying to make him better and bigger in the long run by him losing a match and being humbled again? Definitely him losing the El Grande Americano versus Americano match definitely seems like it's made him a better deal. I was wondering how big of a star they were going to push him as once making his return. I thought that he would figure into the Intercontinental title feast, but Dominic Mysterio, he hasn't made the jump. So him versus Penta at SummerSlam honestly could be a match that we could see. But the main event, we ended up having the Vision versus the Street Profits. Logan Paul coming out with Braun Breaker and Austin Theory. Paul Heyman, where are you at? This whole thing with the division makes no sense. When it was Braun and Rollins, you were there all the time. When Braun went down and Rollins turned and it ended up being Theory and Logan, he was nowhere to be seen. But when Braun made his return, Paul would be there. Now it just seems that Paul is there for Braun's singles matches. But it was Paul that put the tag title on Braun Breaker, keeping the titles in the division with Austin Theory, saying it was some sort of a deal that the Vision was able to be like the new Fabulous Freebirds or something like that. But we need you there, Paul. You make this team seem like they are a bigger deal than they are. Logan Paul ended up being ejected, and as he was trying to plead his case why he shouldn't have been, he was ran off by Joe Hendry, who we haven't seen, honestly, in a few weeks. But before running off, he was able to lay down his brass knuckles into the corner of the Vision. And while he was doing that, we had Seth Rollins' music start to play. At that point, Austin Theory put the brass knuckles on. Braun Breaker ran to the entrance ramp thinking that Rollins would be coming from the back. He ended up coming from the fans, jumping over the barricade, coming over, taking a shot at Austin Theory, taking the brass knuckles for himself, punching Austin Theory with them yet once again. And Braun, once he finally turned around and saw that Rollins was actually into the match, started to run around the ring chasing Rollins instead of staying with the match. And Austin Theory ran right into a finisher. The Street Profits are your new World Tag Team Champions. They have the titles. The Vision is titleless. And Braun Breaker is basically going into the match against Seth Rollins already with 1L. When I think that he's going to lose that match to Rollins again. But now that I'm thinking like Oba is going to... Let's see, if Oba wins, Rollins isn't getting there. But I thought that maybe if Roman was open, maybe it would do Roman versus Rollins at SummerSlam. It's still up in the air. A Night of Champions is going to be a fun one. We'll talk about it tomorrow. But as of right now, the Street Profits, Tag Champs. Monday Night Raw in London, baby.